Historic preservation is really important to the Aslan Foundation. It is a way to celebrate fantastic historic architecture. It's a way to take buildings and land and give them a new life. The Eugenia Williams House is a perfect example of that concept of giving new life for the community. When we thought about the next steps for the Eugenia Williams House, one of the things that was really important is that we have a really fantastic group of architects to be able to help us with this project. We worked with Sanders Pace Architecture, who's a local Knoxville firm, and then we brought in a preservation architect, Harbo Architects, out of Chicago, and then a landscape architect, Reed Hildebrand, out of Massachusetts. We've assembled really just an A-plus team to be able to transform this into something that the Knoxville community, I think, will be really proud of and really excited about using.
When we started the project, we had identified a historic preservation consultant to join the team, and that was to help us research the history of the place, the history of Eugenia Williams. At that time, we also wanted to bring on a landscape consultant to help develop a cultural landscape report. Reed Hildebrand was brought on for that reason, somebody who can do the research part, but also then engage the design process.
We've been brought in to help the Aslan Foundation imagine what this place could be, and to think about how the inherent resources that are here in this landscape can begin to shape the next story that this place has to tell.
Harbo Architects is an architecture firm based in Chicago, and our specialty is historic preservation. What's so exciting about a house like the Eugenia Williams House is it's so intact.
When I first entered the home, I was actually surprised at what good condition most of the components of the house were. The first step for us was to identify what areas needed stabilization and really develop a stabilization plan. And with that stabilization plan in place, it would buy us the time to have a more strategic restoration plan that could be implemented.
The stabilization of the house was really necessary because it had been abandoned for so long. And the big move was to actually take the plywood off all of the windows.
We really began to be able to see how the spaces really felt with light coming into them for the first time.
These rooms have these incredible windows which invite the landscape in. So these things were conceived together. And so our goal is to think about how they can function together in the future.
The home itself has been shrouded in mystery for a while, partially because its owner, Eugenia Williams, was not very interested in being out and being a public figure. She was very private.
We're taking something that's been private for all of this time and in a way give it back to the community and give it meaning in our contemporary kind of culture. And the opportunity to engage in a site that has all of these layers of history is just entirely unique.
The idea that we can bring people in, reuse this land for the community, and be able to have access to talk about historic preservation, to have this as a cultural center is something that is really important to the community.
We also feel a tremendous responsibility to think about what this property can be.
We're in the process now of working with the Aslan Foundation to figure out how do we make this place accessible to the public in a way that makes sense and to make the best use of it.
I think the opportunity to reveal what is actually hidden on the site is what excites me the most.